Hey, good Thursday morning, everyone, and thanks for checking out your latest long-range forecast. Michael Clark here with BAM Weather. Got a lot to dissect here. A busy forecast pattern here over the next couple of days, and stuff we've been talking about here with heavy snowfall here across the northern plains, a big cold front coming in, a lot of rain. You name it, we got it going on, so we'll get right into it. This is a look here at radar this morning. It's busy. Heavy thunderstorms across the deep south. A lot of rain there through Texas and Oklahoma. In fact, there's some risk for some excessive rainfall the next few days. And then we've got a winter storm going on across Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota. Some locations there could get a foot of snow over the next 24 hours. So it's a busy forecast for sure. This is a look at the rainfall forecast next 24 hours. Again, heavy rain down here across portions of south central Texas. Okay, some locations here next 24 hours over 2 inches. Heavier rain here across eastern Iowa and Michigan as well. And then looking here at that snow forecast, we'll go to the updated one over the next 24 hours. North Dakota, you're in the bullseye for 6 to locally 10 inches, maybe even a few 12-inch snow reports are not going to be out of the question up there across the Dakotas. So something to certainly keep in mind as we go forward. This is a look here at the, let me scroll over here a little bit. My apologies, I can't get it to click up. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So this is the look at the Winter Storm Severity Index over the next 3 days, and really the big focus here for some moderate impacts to travel, to just everyday life here across North Dakota, right through the central portion of the state is really where the focus is for at least the best potential for the most impactful winter weather. Looking at our excessive rainfall forecast risk here, we're going to see that not only today in south central Texas, but again in through eastern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, and even inching its way up into southern Indiana and southern Illinois and southwestern Indiana for the potential there for some excessive rainfall over the next couple of days. So let's just watch the pattern evolve. Again, this is all hinged around the big cold front we've talked about the end of the month now for really several weeks. Really shouldn't be any surprise to you, this blast of cold air coming, this very active the stormy pattern as well. You can see what happens is the low pressure system, the main cold front, really starts to get its act together here this weekend, Saturday into Sunday. The low develops off the eastern side there of the Rockies. Heavy rain breaks out across Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. And we kind of have this quasi-stationary boundary draped across the central U.S. here for a couple of days. A high pressure center in the southeast. It's really the perfect recipe for late season heavy rain, okay? At the same time, an Arctic high comes down Monday, 1044 area of high pressure. You can see this here, and this will start to usher in some of this really cold Arctic air, and it may even allow for a storm system to develop later next week for a bigger snow risk into the interior northeast. As the secondary reinforcing shot of cold air comes down Tuesday night into Wednesday, it could bring some snow across Iowa, Illinois, Indiana. And then watch as the polar vortex, the piece of the vortex kind of marries with a storm system in the extended range of the European model up into the interior north and east. Next Wednesday and Thursday, maybe a New England nor'easter up there. Not out of the question, early November. Overall, just very, very busy. Rainfall the next 7 days, the heaviest of the rain, southern Indiana, Illinois, Missouri. The epicenter of the heaviest rain will be eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas there. And again, snowfall will be primarily focused here across the Dakotas. But as that reinforcing shot of cold air comes in early next week, could bring another round of snow, possibly for portions of Nebraska, western and northwestern Iowa. So something to certainly keep in mind there as the pattern continues to remain busy. This is a look at temperatures from normal tomorrow. You can see the excessive warmth out ahead of this, all right? Temperatures in the mid-upper 70s, and then watch just the sharp contrast where you're plus 20 to minus 30 in terms of a departure from normal. Watch the front move in, all right? And then you can see really as it sweeps through by Halloween, most of the country, with the exception of like Georgia and Florida, is going to be well below normal temperatures, very, very cold. This is the morning of Wednesday, November 1st. Again, everyone just really, really cold for about 3 to 4 days. A rebound in temperatures might come later next week before another front might sweep in around the 8th or 9th of November. We'll kind of continue to track that for sure. Check out morning low temperatures, though. This is by Halloween morning. Many locations into the 20s and even the teens across the Midwest as that cold air continues to sweep in. An area, just almost, 75% of the country on November 1st is going to be below freezing. So just a cold start to November there for the first few days as that front swings through, okay? Overall pattern responsible for this, again, you can see the big ridge out ahead and then the trough swinging in, all right, causing this battle zone type setup and the intrusion of Arctic air. You can see the rebound later next week where temperatures moderate relatively quickly, and then the data is hinting at a possible another front around the 7th or 8th of November. We do have some support in that in an SOI drop that occurred a few days back that would suggest there can be another storm system in here that can bring colder air. But the odds of the likelihood of this being a sustained colder pattern for the month of November just are not high. This front, again, can bring a shot of cold, but in terms of its lasting, right now it seems to be rather unlikely. This is a look at the HDD forecast, looking at all the various weather models. And this is basically telling us, okay, heating demand. Are we turning on the furnace, running the heat? What's it looking like across the country? Well, you can see certainly where it's going to be very cold from the 29th of October through about the 3rd of November, and then we dip it back down. Now, all of our computer models overnight were trying to indicate that November 8th suggestion of another cold front where the heating demand could go above normal again for a couple of days after a moderation in here. So you can kind of see just the up and down nature of this pattern. It's below normal here, it's above normal there, it goes back to below normal, back to above. That kind of continues to point to the signs and of the activeness in the pattern, if you will, because regardless of the model data, looking in East Asia, there's not huge signals for big, long-lasting cold. In fact, if anything, there's a signal developing for the eastern U.S. ridge and the Pacific Northwest trough when we correlate that pattern into the U.S. And looking at tropical forcing analogs, looking at years with previous behavior with the negative angular momentum and MJO in phases 8 and 1, I really have strong confidence after, say November 10th or so, that we're really dealing with this ridge in the east and this negative PNA, this trough in the west. And again, that's going to set up, continue to support the active pattern that can bring cold fronts, but majority of the month averages out probably warmer with below normal heating demand. So I would say, you really want to think about after November 10th, any notable cold being harder to come by. Indications here with the westerly winds kind of retrograding from 120 west back to near the date line. That's a negative PNA risk there. And then the tropical forcing really being focused in 8 and 1, again, is a negative PNA risk. So the all-model ensemble by the 10th or 11th here of November, indicating the negative PNA being the predominant pattern driver for the month of November. What does that look like? Well, we had 4 years where we had an MJO 8 and 1 and a negative AAM, and you guessed it, it's a negative PNA. It's the trough in the west and the northwest, and it's the above normal temperatures in the ridging in the east, and that's why you get these above normal precipitation anomalies in November during these years. If you can think to these years, that's what these years kind of, that's what they yielded, right? Is above normal temperatures, above normal precipitation, and at to slightly above normal temperatures in the east. Again, it's not out of the question that there can be cold fronts, right? And shots of cold. I'm not arguing that in the month of November. You roll these years forward into December, and about every way we've spun it, December continues to indicate it's a much warmer than normal month. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Let us know. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.